This is AC Starlord 29, and hi, and welcome to my channel. And I just finished watching um, CandyMan. And why is there a Christmas tree when you're talking about a horror movie? I don't know. It's almost about to be Christmas, and I like Christmas. But anyways, this is CandyMan, and this is an old movie. It's a remake, but Jordan Peele and someone else. Jordan Peele was producer, but someone else directed it. But this helps you understand the original movie by also giving you something new. So sort of like how the 2019 Child's Play gave you something old, but also gave you something new. They gave you that nostalgia factor. This one gives you a nostalgia factor, and gives you something new if you are a fan of the original. Not me. I never seen the original. I just saw this one, and this one's fantastic. When I watched this movie, when I just finished watching this movie, but when I watched it, it gave me no words to say about it, literally, because it was so different, so fresh, and something brand new to me. But the backstories between these characters, backstories between different iterations of CandyMan. I guess there's one, two, and three, or four. There's several different ones. I have looked them up, and they're different iterations. They have different stories on them, but this one's mainly talking about the original one and how the original one backstory is so messed up and so mean and all that stuff, because it's to be about racism and all that stuff as well, because of what time period it was when the original Candyman killer was around. It was just about racism, but it's sort of the same way in this one, but not too much. They do dress on that, but not too much. And also, in this movie, how you summon him, you have to say his name 3 times, kind of like when you say Bloody Mary 3 times, kind of that way. But you do see some of the killings in this, because this is a slasher movie, and you do see some of the killings in this, but you don't really see the killer until the very end, which, if you know who the killer is, it's the title of the movie, but you don't see him that often. You see glimpses of him. The only time you see him is with the main character, because the main character is an artist. He's a local Chicago artist. He gets invested into this part of the town of the part of Chicago in the hood where the original story takes place, and he gets invested in that. He starts making paintings of the original killer, the original Candyman killer, and then he goes insane. He gets stung by a bee. His arm gets infected. His hand gets infected, and all that stuff. But he gets so obsessed about it, he has to go to this with this guy, knowing this original story, and he gets in the original backstory and all that stuff, and then he ends up finding out later on that he's the baby in the story that he was telling him about in the laundromat. He ends up finding out that he's that baby, and well, Candyman was originally supposed to was going to do something with him, and then also the Candyman also gave candy out to kids that had gave out candy that had razor blades in the candy, just like how in one of the current Chucky episodes where he was going trick or treating, when Chucky was going trick or treating, he handed out a piece of candy to a real estate agent lady that had razor blades, sort of like that. and then he, you know, keeps on going down his rabbit hole, and he ends up becoming what the legend said he becomes, the CandyMan. And he has a girlfriend and all that stuff. They have a wonderful life, but once it starts messing in all this, she doesn't believe in all that stuff and all that stuff. And then the local, says he's a local artist. He had an art project that was showcased and talking about saying his name and all that stuff. And then some of her artist friends say their name, and they end up getting killed. And then she gets in trouble for it. Well, she didn't get in trouble for it, but she's sort of to blame because, you know, the law gets there and whatnot. And then his girlfriend doesn't believe him and all that stuff, but so eventually he goes off and does something, and then his girlfriend gets caught and tries to talk to the guy at the washateria, and the washateria guy, we have our sacrifice. She sees her own boyfriend's hand get chopped up by the guy who owns that washateria, and starts talking about how he's becoming the new CandyMan, and what she does, he becomes the new CandyMan, and he ends up dying, but he gets resurrected by her saying CandyMan 3 times, and well, the police officers die, and then one escapes out of school. She's still in the back of the car. He basically saves her, or she's still back in the car, arrested, but when he escapes, he kills that one, and then his face ends up turning into the original CandyMan, and he says, go tell everyone about me, tell them it's true. And that was that ending. There's an alternate ending, but before I get into that, there's one scene in the movie where he was, I think it was an elevator or at another artist's house, talking about how she was about not understanding his art, but now she understands art. And then at one moment he was like this, and with his hand that's messed up, and it showed a reflection of CandyMan. And he had a hook for an arm, and he was like this, and then it just the mirror imaged all his movements. So saying that's how he becomes CandyMan at the end of this. But the alternate ending shows all his art on display and everyone looking at his art, and then everyone leaves, and his girlfriend walks up to the one project he did where it's a mirror, and you open it up and you can see the story of CandyMan. And then she walks up to it, and she was about to say it, and then it pops up the words CandyMan, black and white. And then the original ending where he says, tell it, he says to her, tell everybody this is real. The same words pop up, but the alternate ending I kind of like more because it gives you a mystery if she can summon him or not summon him, but also like the original ending as well. So if you like this, put a like and subscribe by this, hit the notification bell, and like this if you don't want CandyMan to come after you, and subscribe. You don't want any candy with razor blades. So yeah, and young kids were also saying his name, and they were getting killed as well because, you know, of course it was the rage or trending to do that, but that's besides the point. But I'm signing out.